We're going to bring our next performer to the stage. The next person up here works for PBS. He dabbles in improv. He is known as a singer-songwriter around town, but he's probably best known as the roommate and heterosexual life partner of Stephen Harrison. Everyone give it up for Kyle Sorenson.
I'm pretty sure that's Justin, right? So, in 8th grade, I had a nemesis. And my first reaction to this was confusion, because I thought of myself at the time as being a nice guy, amicable, amiable, mild-mannered, not somebody who pissed people off, and certainly not somebody who made enemies. So it was confusing to have somebody dislike me, but even more than that, it was strange to be singled out. So if you think about the difference if you think about what makes a nemesis different from just a guy that you don't like, a nemesis is an intimate relationship, personal. In a way you can think of it, it's almost like a sign of respect, because your nemesis cares enough about you that they're going to go out of their way to make your life horrible. So, I just didn't think of myself as being like noteworthy at the time. I didn't think I stood out, so it was very strange to me to be getting all this special attention. Even if it was like all negative. So my nemesis, his name was Aaron, and I didn't understand it at first, but what I came to realize is our rivalry didn't have as much to do with my personality as it did with our circumstances. And those circumstances were that we were the two best trumpet players in middle school band. And when I say we were the two best trumpet players in band, I don't want you to get the impression that we were good. We were okay. We were slackers. We didn't do any work outside of class to improve. We didn't take lessons. We didn't practice. We didn't do anything to deserve our place at the top. But of course, no one else in the trumpet section did either. They were all slackers. So we were able to coast our way to the top of band class. I guess you could say on natural ability. But we coasted our way up to separate band classes, because the way that middle school worked in 6th and 7th grades, the 2 prior years, is they split the band into 2 separate sections depending on which wing of the school you took more classes in. So there are 2 separate periods that half the kids went to. So Aaron and I, we had never played in the same band together. And what that meant is that for 2 full years, Aaron had gotten accustomed to having, an uncontested place at the top of the trumpet hierarchy. But when we got to 8th grade, they merged the 2 bands into one big band, and then all of a sudden that coveted first trumpet seat was no longer a guarantee for either of us. So, speaking for myself at the time, I don't remember giving a shit. If you think about the prestige that comes with first trumpet, well, it doesn't get you a lot of popularity points. All that comes along with it is, maybe you have a little bit more of a sense of pride, self-pride, and it affects literally which chair you sit down in. So I didn't care, but clearly Aaron must have, because it only took a few days into the school year for him to develop this fixation on harassing and tormenting me. And it was all just stupid, immature, middle school type stuff. It wasn't like anything threatening. He'd do things like give me titty twisters. He'd push me, he'd throw things at me. He'd do that game, where he would take everything I'd say and repeat it back. Which even at the time I remember thinking, shouldn't you have outgrown this by now? I heard that. So he would wait for me outside of class, so that he could tease me when I'm leaving. He would track me down at lunch. He would find me after school when I was waiting for the bus. He was everywhere. And it wasn't like we just shared band class together. We had other classes together as well. And one of those classes was morning math class, which I was in with Steve. And I have to pause from my story about the rivalry for a moment to talk about this class, because it was probably the least teachable class I've ever been a part of. So here's how bad the class was. A few months ago, I was reading an article online. It was like a humorous article that was comparing middle school culture to prison culture. And I didn't get past the title before I was thinking of like numerous examples in this class of why that was true. So first of all, we fashioned weapons out of materials that were available to us. These things weren't as bad as like broken mirror shivs that you might find in an actual prison. But they were a lot worse than your standard middle school spitball type situation. Guys would take thumbtacks, and then they would stick them through slips of paper, and then they would take rubber bands, the big, thick rubber bands, and they would slingshot these things at people. And I don't remember anyone getting hurt, but yeah, clearly this was like very dangerous. And this class had a rape culture of sorts. So, not actual rape. You'll be glad to know. But this thing that we all called knee rape. This is what knee rape was. So you would go up behind somebody and you'd grab them by the shoulders, you'd lift up your knee, and deflowering would occur. And this was wildly popular. Everybody did it. Just about every guy in class did at least a little bit of knee rape at some point or another. And some guys, they were really into it. There's this guy, Paul. He loved his knee raping. He did it probably like 5 to 6 times per class per day. And so when he did it, so he would go up behind someone, and after he had grabbed their shoulders, but before he had done the actual deed, he would, in this very like self-amused way, he would say in this low prison voice, "You like this, boy?" So clearly this was very testosterone-filled, male-dominated culture. So much so that when I was thinking of details for this class and I was trying to remember back on it, I realized while I could remember that there were girls in the class, I couldn't remember who any of them were. Except for the teacher. And so this poor teacher. I don't know if she was a new teacher or if she just wasn't qualified to handle a class that was as horrible as ours. But most of her attempts to try and control our class amounted to her pleading with us like we were responsible adults, which we were not responsible adults. I can't do a perfect impersonation, but a lot of it boiled down to something like, "Can we just do our assignments, please?" Something like that. So didn't very ineffective. And it was amid this lawless, every kid for himself backdrop that a few months into the school year, Aaron was being even worse than his usual horrible, harassing self. And it was a little bit into the class, and I was being like one of the good kids who was actually doing his assignment. And Aaron was sitting behind me in the desk. And his chosen form of torment for the day was to shake the back of my desk and kick it. And so my strategy at the beginning was I was thinking like, if I ignore it, he'll do it for a few more minutes, and then he'll wear himself out. But he was proving to have like a lot of stamina. And so after this had been going on for like 7 or 8 minutes, I started to think like he might be able to keep this up for the whole class. So I needed to do something. So I did a mature thing. I got up out of the desk, took my stuff, and I walked a few rows over, and I put my stuff down over there. And then Aaron got up, and he followed, and then he kicked the person out of the desk behind me, and resumed doing exactly the same thing. So I took stock of my situation, the fact that this was a lawless class that, this was a lawless class where I wasn't going to get any help. And I stood there, and I did what I think any rational middle schooler would have done under the circumstances, which is I completely flip out, and I turn around, and I scream, "Stop it!" and I stab him in the shoulder with my pencil. He retaliates astonishingly quickly. It takes him like less than 2 seconds, but he grabs his own pencil and then he jabs it into my chest. And the tip breaks off. So by now the rest of the class is starting to take notice. And of course they didn't see the part where I stabbed him. And now in front of them is the scene with Aaron with his outstretched hand and a broken pencil, and me recoiling in shock with a pencil tip protruding from my chest. And everybody just erupts because like, "Aaron, what have you done?" And I look down and then I look Aaron in the eye and I go like, "Yeah, Aaron, what happened?" And the class goes crazy for a while. And the teacher tries to calm us down by saying something like, "Can we just go one day?" But eventually things do calm down, and we take stock of the injuries, and it's nothing serious, just some minor puncture wounds. And but it also comes out that of course I stabbed him first. So we get sent to the principal's office, and she can't see us right away. So we get put out in the waiting room for about 10 minutes, and it's at about this moment when the gravity of our situation starts to sink in, and we realize we could be in some serious trouble, considering we were just involved in a multiple stabbing wound in middle school. And we're worried, and then a miracle happens. Aaron and I look each other in the eyes, and we realize at that moment, where's all this violence leading? An eye for an eye just leaves the whole world blind. So we make a resolution right then and there, from the bottom of our hearts, that we're gonna put away this petty, childish feud of ours, and we're gonna become friends. So the principal calls us in, and we are the best wingmen you have ever seen. We are finishing each other's sentences, we're saying all the right things, saying stuff like, "We're so sorry, and it was just a little bit of fun that got out of hand, but we've learned so much." Which is just a whole bunch of bullshit. But we must have put on a pretty good show, because when we were finished, the principal, she sat there for a moment and she rolled her eyes, and then she let us go back to class, and we got off totally scot-free. No punishment. And sure enough, after that day, Aaron and I, we really did become friends, enduring friends for many years. And to this day, I still have a tattoo on my chest where the pencil tip went in. You can see it if you want at intermission. But you will all be pleased to know that I ended ended up becoming first chair.